It's death of the dollar. And then there's a tombstone, and it says, rest in peace, in God we don't trust. The dollar, it's over. The United States became the nation that our founding fathers fought against. We became Great Britain. The sun never sets on the British Empire. We'll kill people all over the world and steal what we want to steal in the name of nobility. We're going to bring freedom and democracy all around the world, America says. You think we invaded Iraq because their major export was broccoli? Or stealing the oil from Syria? Oh, we're getting those ISISes as well. We became what they became. And when you see what happened to the UK, their pound dissolved after World War I because of all the wars that they fought. And America's done the same exact thing.
Talk to me about your thoughts on the BRICS.
If China didn't have a zero COVID policy, we were forecasting that China was going to be the largest economy in the world within 7 years. This has really slowed it down. China and Russia have united. The BRICS have united. They are tired of the West running the world. And there are more of them than us. It's all in the numbers. When you're looking at China, and again, it's just baloney, you know, that, oh, their birth rate is going down. You got 1.4 billion people over there. You got 332 million in America. You got, what, about 40 million in Europe. It's all about the numbers. So when you start putting all the BRICS in, and then you start bringing in the other countries, you know, Indonesia and on and on and on. No, the future is going in that direction. The business of China is business, as with their, you know, their brick road, their road initiative, you know, built what they've done. The business of America is war. So as America and Europe, and again, I just read to you what Stoltenberg is saying, what all the Europeans are doing, putting more and more and more and more and more money into the military, as the other countries are putting more and more and more money into building their economies.
Right.
Death of the dollar. And that's what's going to happen. It's the death of the dollar. In God we don't trust. That's the American way. As soon as the Fed stops raising interest rates, the dollar is going to start weakening. And the more they lower them, the weaker it's going to get. And the world is tired, outside of Europe, of United States hegemony, be it on the military end or the economic end. How could America say, listen, I want all those commodities based on dollars. I'm in charge. No. Bretton Woods is long over. This is a whole new world. World War II is ancient history for young people. It was, what, 77 years ago. You know, you're not the leader of the world anymore. And so they have had it with the dollar. They've had it with America. The BRICS are uniting against the United States as well.
I mean, obviously the US is looking at this thinking, how do we maintain our superpower status here if the BRICS keep growing?
And that's what I'm saying. When all else fails, they take you to war. I talked about what Roosevelt did in 1941. What happened before that? There was a thing called the Great Depression. When all else fails, they take you to war. Go back to the dot-com bust. Again, in our Trends Journal magazine, October 1999, the headline, dot-com bust. Busted in March of 2000. Oh, you mean the day before 9/11, the NASDAQ was only down 66%? 9/11 happens, all forgotten. We'll create a new fake thing. We'll have a fake real estate market, a derivatives thing. We'll make up anything we can. So that's what we're saying. The United States isn't about the bottom line. The United States, way out is with war. I mean, look, you can't make this stuff up. Look at the guy that's plays the United States Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin. What was he? Oh, he was a general. No, after he became a general, you mean he sat on the board of directors of Raytheon, the second largest defense contractor in the United States? Oh, by the way, look at their stocks since this has gone up. Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, all the defense contractors, boom, boom, boom. So that's where the United States is going. China and the BRICS are going in another direction. And then going back to gold. Look at all the gold that was bought up by the central banks in 2022. It's all about interest rates. The higher interest rates went, the stronger the dollar got. Now remember, the interest rates went up from 0, and they created trillions and trillions and countless trillions of dollars of debt to fight the COVID war. And now what do we have? A $30.7 trillion debt level. When you put the real numbers in, it's about 280 trillion. But we'll stay with the 30.7 trillion. And now you raised interest rates. Now you got to pay more on your debt. So going back to the dollar went up because interest rates went up. When interest rates go up, the dollar's going to go down, and it's going to be the beginning of the end of the dollar. And our forecast is gold prices are going to spike above $2,200 an ounce. Because the only reason gold is down is because of the dollar. They're trying to do everything they can to prop up the markets. They have this fictitious thought, and all of the currencies are doing it, that if you devalue your currency, then you're going to be able to export your product, and people are going to buy it because it's going to be cheaper. What they're not putting together is that there's a global slowdown. Commodity prices are crashing, and currencies are plunging because there's a global slowdown. Oh, China is the canary in the mine shaft, in the equity mine shaft. And that is, we're looking at a global equity meltdown. And we have said it's going to happen before the end of this year. And remember, the government propped that market up, and 80% of the people playing that market are retail investors, just small players. They don't know what they're doing, and they're trying to salvage the country in any way they can. You go back and you read their reports. We're not going to do anything to stimulate. We're not going to do anything to stimulate. Oh, you're not? You're going to keep cutting interest rates? You're going to keep cutting reserve currencies? They're desperate. This is act of desperation.